everyone, we're live. Welcome to AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter. I'm Madalyn Skylar. Today we're going to be talking about helpful AI tips, tricks, and advice, and things that will help you work smarter, not harder when it comes to your business, as well as your everyday life. I mean, let's face it, AI is just taking over everything. And I'm finding all kinds of ways to use it in so many aspects of life, not just with business. If you're new here, welcome. I help creators and entrepreneurs get more done with their AI to help boost their productivity without feeling so overloaded. We all get so overloaded with this stuff because every day there's something new. The stuff I'm going to show y'all today, like these are things that have come across my desk this week, something we're going to go over later that came up this morning from a video I watched. So there's always something. It's incredible the pace of all of this. And that's why I host this live stream each week to just try to help us stay on top of things. And we are not necessarily jumping on every shiny object because there's too many of those. But I did come across a really cool shiny object earlier this week that I can't wait to show you all. So if you need help with your digital marketing or your AI, I can help assist. I've been in digital marketing for 30 years now, and I've been fully immersed in AI for years. And I help provide guidance and support so you can get things done quicker and easier. I mean, look, we all know we can just go to YouTube University and learn a lot of things and read newsletters and take online courses, but sometimes we just want that easy shortcut. That's why this is called AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter. It's just trying to help get you from point A to point B faster. But if you're looking for any assistance one-on-one, reach out to me and we'll figure out how to get you in my schedule so we can get you some additional help. This live stream today is brought to you by our AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter Skool community. That's where we continue these discussions. What we do here is come on social media for an hour each week, but really where the discussions keep going is over in Skool. So I got a link there on the screen. Just go to my bit.ly link, bit.ly/Madalyn Skool. So let's bring up our co-hosts for today that are joining us. Hello, ladies. Good to see you all. Barb and Rachel. How's it going today?
My photo is frozen, so I'll just do this one. But good. I'm glad to be here and learn so much about this, Madalyn, because everybody's talking about, you got to leave OpenAI and blah, 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 blah. And we were just talking about the politics of it and how you kind of just have to put that out of your head. But now you're switching. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen.
Yeah. And so let me explain for our viewers, because before we went live, I was telling Barb and Rachel a little bit about what I'm going to talk about today. So, for weeks here, I mean, you can just go back and watch the replays of this live stream. Easiest way is just go to my YouTube at Madalyn Skylar. We are broadcasting all over right now. We're on my Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And I know with Barb and Rachel, we're on y'all's social media as well. So we are broadcasting far and wide. But if you ever want to go catch a replay, whether you catch this replay later or one of our previous weeks, you could always easily get it over on my YouTube at Madalyn Skylar. And you can just see under my picture here, the at Madalyn Skylar, making that easy for everyone if you're not familiar with me. And that is my handle, username, whatever you want to call it, on all my social media. That is the good fortune of having an unusual name. I'm able to have Madalyn Skylar everywhere. So for weeks now, we've been having this discussion about ChatGPT versus Claude. And all we've been hearing about is how Claude has really ramped up. They've gotten so much better. They got all these new features. And then there was a political aspect, like Rachel was mentioning, this whole, government thing that we've heard about with the Department of, I'm not going to get into the politics. It's I've known it as Department of Defense forever. So anyway, a lot of things have been going on. So a lot of people have left ChatGPT in favor of Claude, which is Anthropic's tool, in favor of that. And I try not to rush into something because of politics, because at the end of the day, it's what's best for you, the person, the business, not necessarily Oh, everybody's doing I mean, it's just like when everybody left X, right? I mean, we all got wrapped up in all of that. All of our friends and colleagues were like, I'm not going to be on X anymore. And I get it and I understand. Believe me, I felt a lot of the same things, but the X platform still served me. And I know it did for y'all because y'all are still there. So I think people are just so quick to do something, and that's okay. And I've held back from like going all in on Claude. I do still have my free account with Claude, and I've been using it more. And I also have Magi that I pay for, and it's in Magi, so I use it in there. I'm actually using it in Magi quite a bit. If you're not familiar with Magi, check it out, magi.co. And if you do /Madalyn, I have a special coupon code, 30% off for 3 months with my code Madalyn30. So Magi is an all-in-one AI tool. So I have Magi where I have everything. I've got all these LLMs and the image generators and the video generators. So I can do everything. But you don't get all the native features you'll have inside ChatGPT and inside of Claude and inside some of these others. So it's great to have access to all of these things. And I definitely recommend it. It's one of my favorite tools. Magi just celebrated 3 years, and I've been with them since they started. I like having my paid ChatGPT Plus account is $20 a month because I can do other things there that I cannot do in Magi. And again, that goes back to the native features you get on these platforms when you pay. And so I've been a paying customer on ChatGPT for quite a while, but later I'm going to play Dan Martell's. I want y'all to hear some of his thoughts on changing from ChatGPT to Claude. It is very compelling, and I am definitely going to try a paid account with Claude and try these things that I've already been hearing about from my friends and colleagues that rave about Claude. But I want to use these native features that they have inside of it. So, because we've been hearing about Claude Code, was it Claude Code, Claude Co-work? There's all these different things. And I mean, have y'all been hearing a lot about this? Or what is y'all's thoughts on, all these features that we keep hearing about in Claude right now?
How much is it a month?
$20 a month. I mean, they're all
So
pretty
it's
much
the same if we switch off of ChatGPT.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'll keep checking back with everybody with my progress. But my plan, after watching Dan Martell's video this morning, and again, I'm going to play it for y'all in a little bit. After watching his video, I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep my ChatGPT paid as is, $20 a month. I'm going to follow all the steps to move all of my memory and information over to Claude. And I'm going to try a paid Claude account for at least 1 month. This is, if anybody goes back to my past live streams here, it was, I believe it was October or November of 2023 or 4. I don't remember which year it was, when ChatGPT came out with the advanced audio feature. I'm like, and you had to pay $20 a month if you wanted to use it. You had to be on a paid ChatGPT. So I'm like, I'm going to do this because I want to get on my phone, tap the button on the mobile app, and talk to it like a person. And you could do it on the free, but you were extremely limited. And when I did it, I was like, I want more. And so I paid, and I kept on here each week saying, this is a big experiment. I'm probably not going to keep it for more than a month. And then a month came up and I loved it so much, I kept paying, and I've been paying for it ever since. So it's been a couple of years. I absolutely love it. But there's this constant thing going on right now with these AI tools where one exceeds the other with features and just the way it works. And so it's like, what do we do? It's frustrating. But I've just been having my eyes open, my ears open, reading, watching videos, paying attention to what everybody's saying, not dropping everything and running to the shiny object.
Right.
But in my research, it's like it's getting more and more compelling to like really try going all in Claude to see.
But aren't some of the founders from OpenAI over there at Claude? Isn't that how that came about?
My understanding is yes.
So it makes sense, just,
Yeah.
actually that, if they didn't remember how we were at the beginning of OpenAI and all of the hoo-ha that went on there. So they had time to look at what was going on. And usually when in the foundation of technology companies, the guy that is really the geekiest guy tends to take off. So.
Right. Well, I've always liked Claude, and I remember when Claude came out, ChatGPT dominated. It was the one, and then all of a sudden we started hearing about this new one called Claude from Anthropic, and it was interesting. And before I was paying for ChatGPT, this is back when I was just using Magi for everything. I remember when Dustin added Claude. So I'm like, oh, now it's not just ChatGPT inside of Magi. We got, other LLMs are emerging now. So he started adding them. And I clearly remember because some people may say, well, why did you pay for Magi just for when ChatGPT was the only one? And the reason why I've been with Magi all these years now, for 3 years, is because for those that were using ChatGPT 3 years ago when it was new, I did not like the interface at all. It just felt kind of clunky. It was dark. You couldn't organize anything. The biggest thing for me was you could not organize. And I just remember on the left sidebar, I would just have to scroll through and it'd be like months of all these shots I did. I'm like, I can't find anything. So Dustin comes along. And mind you, I've already known Dustin a long time. He started Magi because he felt the same way. It needed a better interface and it needed to be organized. So he creates Magi. And what he did with that is, let me put the link back up, is he put folders in there so you could organize things. And I was like, that's worth it. For me, it was worth every penny. I was like, I'm happy to be a paid customer because that alone, the interface is nicer to look at, it's less cluttered, I can organize stuff. And he just kept adding features. And then here comes Claude. I'm like, oh, let me play with this new one called Claude. Now, at the time, you couldn't have one chat and go back and forth. So I would have one tab open with ChatGPT, and I would open another browser tab, and then I would do Claude. And I would compare. And it was like, oh, this Claude one is pretty good. Now, here we are years later. And it's been this battle back and forth. So when I like to play with them both, I do it in Magi because I'm still a paid customer. I love that tool. I'm a big fan of Dustin's. When he wasn't as busy running Magi, he used to come on here pretty regularly. I would invite him on so we could pick his brain and ask him questions. He was always so helpful. But a few years ago, he was able to make it so that you could be in one chat in Magi and you could literally go back and forth. So what I can do is I can go in Magi and I could start with ChatGPT and be conversing with ChatGPT. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's see what Claude has to say. And I literally, at the top, I just click and switch it over to Claude or to any of the others. There's Gemini in there. There's like all the LLMs. So I definitely recommend, if anything, for people to at least go check out the website so you can learn more about the tool. And there have been times where I like Claude better and I would just use Claude. And then all of a sudden ChatGPT would come up with a new version and ChatGPT was good again. So it's just been this back and forth. I've been happy with ChatGPT for quite a while now, over a year. I played with Claude a little more because of all the stuff we're hearing, right? Everybody's talking about Claude in the past month. And I'm really liking it. And now knowing we can talk to it like a person, like we do with ChatGPT, y'all, I did not really know that until we watched that Bernie Sanders video last week here, where he is talking to Claude on his phone like a person, like I do every day with my ChatGPT. So it's like, oh, another reason that Claude could be very worthwhile for me. So yeah, I'm very interested now in doing a bigger comparison to see how it affects me and my business. And when you're a solopreneur or small business owner, we need all the tools we can get to help us work smarter, not harder. And I've been listening to my friends and colleagues rave about Claude for months and months and months. So I'm ready to dive in deeper and see what that fuss is all about. And I think after y'all watch Dan Martell's video with me in just a bit, you might, and I'm not here to change anybody's mind. you can't be affiliates with these companies. They don't need to have people
Right.
get affiliate, from that. So they're big companies, and yeah, but I'm just all about sharing what works for me, what I use. And if people find that interesting, I definitely encourage you to go check it out, do your research, do your homework, learn as much as you can. So yeah, we're definitely going to dive into like all these things that Claude can do, but oh, did you have something you want to say, Barb? Because I got
Well,
something
Magi doesn't have Claude in it?
It does have Claude. It has all of them. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Magi has, I'm going to, you know what? Let me pull up my Magi real quick and I'll show y'all real quick. But I also want to get to all these.
But it's just not as powerful, just like our Chat GPT.
It is powerful. The thing is, I mean, this is where I need Dustin to explain. The best thing I can say is not we know ChatGPT has a lot of these native features now, right? They've got the projects, the tasks, all these things. Dustin is able to, you're on Magi, you put in your prompt, it's going over to the server for that. If you're using ChatGPT, it's going to their server and it's coming back. But it cannot necessarily pull in all of those native features like like he has to build it into it. Okay. And it's not always the same type of experience you get natively. So but he has lots of features. And what's interesting is on Magi, he has what's called workspaces, which I've now come to realize is the same thing as ChatGPT projects. So it's like, okay, eye-opening, that it really is incorporating it. It's just called something else. But let me real quick show you. So this is Magi, clean and very easy to look at. So let me just show you. I have my two favorites at the top. That's why they're starting right here. When I'm in Magi, because I have my ChatGPT I use natively, chatgpt.com, but then I come into Magi for everything else. So my Claude Sonnet 4.6 I've been really liking, and of course Nano Banana for images. But he's got all these different Claudes. You got DeepSeek, you got Gemini, and there's Flux, which is an image generator. You got all the different Geminis. You got the different ChatGPTs, and there's lots of them. You got Grok. So you got Grok 3, 3 mini, Grok 4, 4.1 fast, Grok 4.20. These lots of stuff here. And then some of these are just going to be the image ones. Some of these I've never heard of, but like this is probably a video one. It has a little video icon. Kimi and Kling, I've heard about those for video ones. Leonardo is a popular image generator. And some of these I'm not familiar with, but I don't stay on top of every single one of them. I've heard of Mistral. Nova, you got O4 Mini. This is ChatGPT, another part of the thing of chat. And you got Perplexity. And Perplexity is really good for research. So look, they got 4 different Perplexities. Sora 2, which is very popular for video. You got Via, which is very popular for video. And he does have a voice GPT. So here's the thing. So I told y'all that I pay for ChatGPT because when they started the voice thing, I was blown away. So Magi added a version of this. It's called Voice GPT. Personally, for me, I don't get the same experience as I do when I'm natively using ChatGPT. So that's the reason why I pay for ChatGPT. But you can see from all your choices in there, you can do so much inside of Magi. So for me, what works for me is pay for Magi $20 a month, and then I pay for ChatGPT $20 a month. My big experiment, when y'all watch this video with me, again, I'm not telling anybody to do this. I'm just sharing what I'm going to do, and you can follow along over the next several weeks and several months. So I'll check in with my progress. But even though I don't want to add another subscription, I'm tired of paying for subscriptions. I'm going to try the $20 a month with Claude and move my memory over. And to be very clear, my memory is not leaving ChatGPT. I'm just taking a copy of it and I'm going to move it over to Claude so it knows everything about me and I can have more of a fresh start versus the free account I've used natively at Claude. I do have stuff in Magi, but if you're using a native platform, like my ChatGPT at chatgpt.com does not have the same info as Magi when I use ChatGPT. So that's another thing to be very clear about. if I'm going to, you really want to have one place. If you're brainstorming, if you're copywriting, you're doing all these things, it's really good to have one place to do it, whether that's Magi and you just get more choices with LLMs and video and image generators. It's all in one, or you use one of these others. So I'm just incorporating both. I spend more time talking, plotting, and planning inside of ChatGPT natively. And then I use Magi when I just want to do a little bit of everything. It does not have all that saved memory. You can move your memory over to Magi. I'm trying to not overcomplicate things. That's the bottom line. Because I could move memory over. I'd have to maintain two separate ones. And so maybe a workaround would be once a month, I just take all the memory from ChatGPT and put it into Magi. So it just kind of updates it and makes it more current. I don't know. To me, that sounds like a lot of work, but it can take some trial and error and experimenting to see what works for you. So that's where I'm at with all of this. But I want to show y'all something really cool first that I came across before we dive into the whole Claude thing. I saw an interesting tweet that popped up the other day. Let me pull this up because it was really, really interesting. And I tried this tool. And I'm always going to stress, you don't need to go run and play with every shiny object, but I just want to show y'all something I played with the other day that really blew me away. So I saw this tweet. So this is in my X feed. I saw this tweet. I watched their little video. I'm going to play it in a moment. And it says, introducing Helena, the world's first autonomous AI marketer. I played with it. I tried it. And then I instantly got on my X and tweeted that I tried it. And I'm seriously impressed. It analyzed my brand, created content and SEO strategy, built marketing assets, and even set up automations. This is super cool. Now, I don't have it doing automations, but it can set all that up. So let me show you all this because for anybody that is a solopreneur or small business owner, I think we're going to see more tools like this. Now, yes, of course, if you know how to do deep research and things, I'm sure you can just go into your favorite LLM and have it get all this information for you to help you with your marketing, tracking your competitors and analyzing performance, all these different things here. But I'm going to play this video so you get an idea of what this is even about. And then they have a free 3-day trial. So I did it. And I just want to show y'all because I'm really blown away. And I'm even tempted to pay for it now because it's like, but I probably won't. But it's just super interesting. So let me play y'all this video so at least you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey, I'm Sejan.
And I'm Info.
We're co-founders of Enriched Labs. Today, we're excited to introduce Helena, the world's first autonomous AI marketer. Let me show you an example of Helena in action. So I'm going to give Helena the URL of our favorite pizza brand, Slice House. From now on, Helena is in the driver's seat. First, Helena begins to analyze the business, the customers, and the competitors. After that, she builds out the brand knowledge base and growth engine using all the same tools that a human marketing team would use. Helena has her own memory, scheduled tasks, more than 100 custom tools, and direct integrations into more than 50 key platforms like GA4, Search Console, and Meta Ads. Now, Helena makes a step-by-step plan of how to grow the business. She builds a personalized marketing strategy and begins to take action, performing SEO keyword research, publishing GEO-optimized blog posts, generating Instagram Reels, TikTok slideshows, and even setting up Meta Ads from scratch. Finally, Helena sets up daily recurring tasks to keep running your marketing while you sleep. She reports back to your inbox every morning with exactly what she ran, what performed, and what she's planning next.
All of this is possible today because we've made progress turning human marketing, workflow, knowledge, and decision-making into a reliable agent system. It's a hard problem, and we're just getting started. But we're already very excited about what Helena can already do today.
So if you want to try Helena today, go to hirehelena.com to get started. We can't wait to see how you grow your business with Helena. All
right, I was intrigued. I watched that and I'm like, I got to see what this fuss is about since there's like a free 3-day trial. I'm like, I have nothing to lose. I doubt it's something I'm going to pay for, but I was just curious to see what would it do. So I'm going to show y'all the report it made. And it did it. I wish I had timed it. I think it was like less than 10 minutes. Like it was fast. And I was blown away at all the information it gave me. But because it's a 3-day trial, I think it's probably going to go away later because I did it like 3 nights ago. So let me pull this up and show y'all what I did. You put in a source. So I put in my website. That's all I did. Now, I don't have a real website at the moment. I have a link tree is what I'm utilizing at the moment. Actually, let me show y'all that first. To set the stage for what I could, because I was thinking it's not going to give me anything of value here. This is what I gave it. When you go to MadalynSkylar.com, it goes to my link tree. It's just a placeholder. And yeah, Neil, all I did with this Helen thing is I put in MadalynSkylar.com, which went to my link tree. So let me show y'all real quick. So it's not a lot of info, but I think it helps that I have an unusual name. So when it did the deep research, it could find a lot of info about me, but I wasn't sure what it was going to do. But it has, links to things like Skool, Substack, links to some videos, and then my favorite tools, like I got Magi, Whisperflow. So it knows, like these are some of the tools I like to talk about. That's all this is. There's not an about page. There's nothing, y'all. So I had very little hope that this would even run properly. So I think 10-ish minutes later, I get this and I'm like, and it was running. It was like stuff was popping up. So here's what it says. Our website is MadalynSkylar.com. This is the prompted automatically. All I did is put in the URL. Can you help me with content writing, SEO, email marketing, social media? So it's like, let me dig into this. So quickly is like, got information about me. She's an AI evangelist and digital strategist with 30 years of experience helping content creators work smarter. Her link tree is the hub pointing. I didn't tell this thing anything, y'all. One URL. Her link tree is the hub pointing to a Skool community, a brand new Substack, weekly live streams, and affiliate tool partnerships. It figured out those were affiliate tools. Mind blowing. Now, I know there's some techie people watching this going, big deal. I can do this with, in an agentic way with ChatGPT, Claude, whatever. I get it. For those of us that don't have time to do all that, to learn all the ins and outs, this was pretty amazing. So they put together a business profile, got all this info, and it looked at all my offerings. It made notes about it. It shows clear strengths, key opportunities. And then it did brand guidelines. And it says my brand voice, practical, direct, and encouraging, no hype or fluff. Personality, knowledgeable but approachable, like a smart friend who happens to be an industry expert. Tagline, work smarter, not harder. It got all of this from doing a deep dive with the starting point being my link tree. It has some messaging pillars for me. It's doing the color palette from the link tree. I thought that was funny. But it's giving you all this really helpful. Okay, now it's all, and it was running all this. I was watching the screen run this very agentically in real time. So now it's going to dive deeper. And it says, Madalyn has solid SEO opportunity here. So was evaluating my Skool community. Big find here. MadalynSkylar.com is just a link tree page. She has no actual website or blog. I used to. With all the stuff I'm doing these days, I'm kind of redoing it all. That's the number one SEO risk, but also a massive opportunity. She's building on rented land. Something I always tell everybody, don't do. Stop building so much on rented land. Have owned content. So I was talking about that, and it's giving me competitors. And then now it's doing market research. It's looking at competitors, their focus, and then look at this differentiator versus Madalyn. Whoa, that's interesting. Shows my key differentiators, 30 years of real-world digital marketing credibility, no hype, brand promise, community-first model, live weekly touch point. I was not expecting all of this. And then here's a strategy. It's given me a 90-day marketing strategy, showing the different phases. Key metrics to track, key wins. Now it's doing keywords, SEO keywords. So it's going through and analyzing and giving me SEO keywords I should focus on. A topical cluster map. Content format recommendations. This is still going. It kept running and running. The entrepreneur aesthetic is perfect for Madalyn's vibe. Now generating all images in one shot. So now it's creating assets for me. I was in shock at how much it did. It came up with a WordPress blog for me. Now it has an email draft for me.
Wow.
Made a Linktree post. It didn't post anything. You could set it up to automatically, but it put together a Linktree carousel. I'll show you details of that in a moment, based on the information it had. So this would be a way for me to promote the different AI tools that I talk about so much. So that's for LinkedIn. Now it's giving me a content calendar for 2 weeks. So it's giving me all these, things that it thinks I should be doing, and giving a posting cadence summary. Content pillars. Now it's giving me assets for TikTok. It came up with a carousel for TikTok. It already created it. All I have to do is post it. Yeah, this was from Monday night. So yeah, I think so if I get this for 3 days, I did this at 8:14 p.m. on Monday. So I'm like, okay, the clock is ticking. 3 days of this, I'm probably going to lose it after tonight. But I am just really wowed by it. And there it goes. So that's all of it. So I looked at that WordPress over here, and I can pull this up, and it's, showing me what it created that I can utilize or adjust and edit to my liking. Here's the TikTok. I was not expecting this at all. I was not expecting this. So what are your thoughts when you look at something like this?
They have a .com address. To me, they're serious.
I thought the same thing, instead of it being .ai or whatever.
Right.
I'm actually
We're not testing. We're using it.
I'm using it right now as I've been watching you.
Yeah.
I've been watching you, but I'm letting it do its thing.
It's pretty
Wow.
wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now I don't know for sure, but it looks like they have multiple ones. Like I'm on their homepage at enrichlabs.ai. That's their website. So showing all these different ones. I think you have to pay for each one is the way. I'm not 100% sure, but I would definitely check out. So like I'm playing with the Helena, but there's also Sam. So Helena is an AI digital marketer. Sam is an AI SEO GEO manager. Kai is an AI social listening manager, and Angela is an AI email marketer. So they all seem to be very separate. So when I was playing with Helena, everything was focused around AI digital marketing, and the pricing I found was specifically, let me get the pricing page, because the pricing page was not easy to find. I had to be in the trial, and I think it was in there where I was able to get to, but let me show y'all real quick, because I want y'all see because this specifically, so this is the plans, but it's specifically about Helena. So the starter is $39 a month. But here's the thing. I'm looking at this going, okay, it's more than what I'd want to be paying, but the amount of data it gave me on a free trial was quite interesting. And Neil's bringing up a great question, and I don't know yet, Neil, because I haven't really dove into it to check, but he's asking how accurate were the results, hallucinations. I tell you, the stuff it knew about me was spot on. And I'm shocked that I gave it the Linktree link, and it went and did a deep dive from the Linktree, and it obviously went to my social media. It probably it looked like the way some of it was worded came from my LinkedIn, probably, but because I have an unusual name, I'm sure it was able to easily find stuff about me from just an AI search, deep dive search. I don't know how well that would work with other people, and brands. But here's the thing that kind of stopped me is like, okay, so my understanding is this is just for Helena, so it would not be all of them. But Helena does a lot, as we just saw. On the starter, $39 a month, it says you get 200 credits. I'm like, oh, everything is credits. And you can burn through credits. And that's one of the things with Claude. I am concerned about with playing with Claude to see if I want to go all in on Claude, because what everybody's complaining about on the $20 a month Claude plan right now is you burn up through the tokens very quickly. So you either got to pay more or you got to wait till it resets. And you can get back to working on it. So I'm looking at this going, I wonder how many credits it used to run that report and how quickly would you burn through that. And of course, the more credits, the more you pay. So if the things I wanted to do ended up costing a lot more, then is that something I really want to do? But I think what everybody should do is do what I did. Go try this free trial for 3 days so you could see if it could do all of that for me from a Linktree link. I can't. So Rachel, what is it showing, like really cool, interesting things for you? I love that you're doing this in real time.
Yeah, it gave me 4 file folders before the pop-up came up that said hire Helena for a free 3-day trial. So I haven't gone further than that, but it gave me for strategy, branding, opportunities, and where I'm strong. So yeah, helpful.
I mean, this is going to replace jobs for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to replace jobs. But I think for the solopreneurs that are, they're spending a lot of money on these things with people, with tools, something like this, I could see being worth paying that monthly fee.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean,
it's not going to, sorry, Barb, it's not going to stop me from hiring. I have 2 assistants.
Right.
I'm still going to have them. Right. So it's not like I'm taking business away if I use this for my own business growth. I think, like I said, I think people have to stop being so precious about it and use AI as the free assistant or $39 a month assistant, very reasonably priced for things that help you. Sorry, go ahead, Barb.
Well, even at the $40, you cannot get a marketing plan, all of that for $40, period. I mean,
right.
Not a real one, not one that really is diving into you. But it is, like when you said it's going to replace jobs, when we talk about being solopreneurs from decades ago, we did not have these tools. And a lot of us didn't see our dreams come true, so to speak, because we couldn't get the funding. We couldn't get the talent. I mean, even, back then we just didn't have the tools to work with. And I think that, I hope, I should say, not that it encourages, more people to go to continue their education, to go to school. But there is an opportunity. Being an entrepreneur, you can see this opportunity screaming out that these are human beings. They have to be doing something. What is it? What's the magic for them? Because what we're talking about is we're getting rid of that rote stuff. It doesn't really, once you've got it down, you have that talent, you just over and over again, you repeat it. But to get the creativity and to be the uniqueness of that human being, there's a real opportunity there that everybody's so focused on the AI part, they need to really home in on the human factor and what it does for us.
Right. Absolutely. So, it's interesting what I came across. People can play with this to see what it's all about for, like I said, I'm probably not going to pay for this, but the information it gave me was really interesting and helpful, especially since I need, I'm the one helping everybody, but not taking care of all that stuff myself too, that I always preach about. So this kind of I feel like it's kind of pointing me in that direction. Like, okay, this shortcutted it for me. It's like, I need to work on a better marketing plan for my business. And the way it just handed that over so quickly, I'm just curious how many credits, if I was a paying customer, how many credits did that just take? Because the thing is, when there's credits or tokens, you got to really pay attention to what you're doing. I jumped on the whole Descript for video editing, right? I have Camtasia I've been using for like probably 15, 20 years, however long they've been around. I've been a customer of theirs a long time. And that's a much more in-depth video editing tool. But Descript does a lot of cool things, and a lot of my colleagues and friends have been raving about it for years. So I finally took the plunge because it has this AI built in where you can just tell it what you want to do with your videos, and it can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And it can be a real time saver, especially if you're like doing video podcasts and it's just a lot of work to do the editing manually. So I'm like, let me sign up and do this. And at the time they were having a big Black Friday sale. So I went ahead and did an annual account. I burned through the credits so fast for the month because the AI was not perfect and it kept making mistakes and it wasn't making my videos the way I wanted. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even get this the way I want. And I got to buy more credits if I want to keep going or wait till it resets at the next month. And I was like, so when it comes to AI stuff and these tokens and credits and things, pay attention to your usage because you could go through it really quickly. And that was what stopped me. I'm like $39 a month, maybe pay for like 1 month and then play with it. And I probably would stop after that. I don't think it's something I want to add as a regular thing. I do find it useful for the little bit it gave me for that amount, for the free 3-day trial. But I'm just concerned about the credit usage and how quickly. And I'd want to know from the company, like, okay, well, explain how this works more fully. So I'm not paying $39 and I could burn through it in 1 day.
Right.
Or a week. So anyway, I come across cool things. I like to share it. Another quick thing I want to share is over in our Skool community at our AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter. You can join us over there. The easiest link to get you there quickly is our bit.ly/Madalyn Skool. Came across a really interesting article this week from Michael Hyatt. Michael Hyatt's been in the digital marketing space for a long time. He's fully immersed in AI now. And he put out this article. Definitely encourage everybody to go read it. We don't have time to do a deep dive, but his article is don't install OpenClaw yet. Here's why. And we were hearing things about that whole OpenClaw. It was that brand new shiny object for like a month or two now, and everybody's been talking about it. So read this article first before you jump into OpenClaw if you are thinking about using it, because his article is a reminder that all these AI tools that are hyped up all the time that we're reading about constantly, you could run into some real issues. He said in his article, he spent something like 50 hours on this and hundreds of dollars trying to get it to work. He didn't think it was going to take long because everybody says it's quick and easy to do. He didn't think it would cost much. It ended up costing him a lot more because you're burning through the tokens. This article is definitely a good read, so I definitely recommend it. So it's linked there over in our Skool community. Let me pull it up real quick too. But I would definitely read this article, if anything, just to be more aware of OpenClaw and all this stuff, because he goes into all of this. He was hyped up and excited to do this, and it was one problem after another. And he just realized, like, I bought into the hype and I jumped in. I should have waited. I shouldn't have rushed. I thought this would be simple and easy. And he says it ended up not being simple and easy. So, sometimes with these tools and things we're hearing about that is so hyped up, and OpenClaw is something we've been hearing about a lot for a while now. That's like, the big thing everybody's been talking about. Neil's asking, can you discuss the ethics of using Helena on behalf or clients as opposed to your own brand? At one point, you're using a tool versus outsourcing the work. That's an interesting question because I could see people using that Helena tool for their clients, rather than, the hired staff they were already using or plan to use. So I think AI tools are really going to, we keep hearing this thing constantly about how there's going to be a billionaire who's a solopreneur because of AI. That's something they keep talking about a lot. There's going to be somebody that's going to actually, they're saying the OpenClaw guy is a billionaire now. I don't know if that's true. I think I'm pretty sure Dan Martell said that. It might be in that video we're about to watch. But I don't, that's a hard one. What's y'all's quick thought before we move in? And this hour goes so fast. We won't even have time to watch a whole lot of the video I want to play next, but it's some interesting stuff with Claude I want to share. But what's your thought on this whole ethics between using a tool like that on behalf of a client? Do you disclose it? You probably should disclose that you're utilizing AI.
I would. I definitely. I have some clients now who will actually say to me, "I don't care if you put this through ChatGPT, just give me something to go on."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll be very obvious and say, "Hey, I threw this into chat. I worked with it a little bit. I came up with your Substack note copy. At least here's a foundation for you to look at." That I do make the effort though to create the profiles so that they understand the client voice. But then I go in, I edit, and by the time I send it to a client, it's fully edited. But then I have something to work with as well, and they have something to work with. So I think if you're open about it, then I don't really see a problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because not everybody's going to be that way. I would, for
I
me
know.
personally, I would feel most comfortable if I did disclose, if I was using any specific tools that like we do incorporate AI into our workflows and the things we do. If I was using something like that, Helena, now this is just me personally, I am pretty blown away by what Helena did. And it's like, it's like I could do a lot more to help clients with something like that. But for me personally, what I would do is I would run it for a client, give them that, let them see what the 3-day free trial does and say, this can really shortcut things and you can take this and run with it, or you can have us run with it for you. But this is a report through this AI tool. It's just going to be person and business by business, like who's comfortable discussing and disclosing. And let me tell you, we are heading in a direction where a lot of things are going to be disclosed automatically because it detects AI. I noticed last week, I think I mentioned it here too. Last week on X, I put up an image and it knew that it was generated in ChatGPT. So it said that it was AI generated. It automatically put that into the tweet. I kid you not. It didn't warn me. It didn't say anything. It just showed it at the bottom, like small print, kind of grayed out a bit, but that it was AI generated. That's interesting. And I actually don't think that's a bad thing that, to disclose AI with some things, but that could end up being a big debate too. I don't know. I mean, I haven't like really thought it all through, but it's interesting. I don't think it's a bad idea that things should be like there should be a warning or a note that this was AI generated. YouTube's been doing it for a while. If it's an AI generated video, you're supposed to disclose it in your YouTube description, but I think it's automatically picking up on that anyway. It can detect. What's interesting on YouTube, I've noticed. So some of my video shorts, sometimes I do it in Premiere on the mobile app Premiere, which I love. It's free. They have a free version, and I love using that for just quick and simple edits. When I upload a YouTube short or video that I edited in Premiere, it will put it in the description at the bottom. It will say it was made with Premiere or some kind of disclosure, Premiere, and it shows the Premiere logo. And it's like, wow, like it does it automatically. So I think we're going to see more and more of these disclosures. I imagine is to protect YouTube and X from legal issues, wouldn't you think? That's why they do it?
Probably. They don't want to accept responsibility. But because I am an old beta tester in that, and it goes all the way back to the ones and zeros thing, I thought they have said this. I am being very upfront telling, I'm using it. It's a technology tool. Right. And so even if Facebook drops up, a label, or X drops up a label, I've already said it. And I think for humans, and you're digesting it, it's like, okay, so she's using it responsibly. And that's a key issue there, is using it responsibly.
Right.
But I still, I'm homing in on humans, that the human side of it. Yes, you have this tool to use, but like any other, when we first got the computers, it's like, oh my gosh, my kid's got to learn this. He's going to have this career, blah, 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 But if they don't learn how to use it effectively and responsibly, you got issues big time.
Yeah.
And, so one of the things about Claude AI that you hit, when you brought that up, because I thought, I think people from OpenAI are there, and they are. But one of the things it said about it was the responsible side. That, the whole thing, they're a public benefit corporation, legally obligating it to prioritize long-term safety, ethical considerations, and societal value alongside profit. So that's a killer statement, in my opinion. Because we have failed as human beings if we haven't included the human factor. Is
right.
the point. It's just
well said. Well said. It is 100%. Neil says that sometimes they're wrong with these AI disclosures. He has a non-AI graphic, images have been flagged, and that is true. They're not perfect. Several months back, I talked about on this live stream about how I was on one of those AI detector tools. Like, you put in your copy and it tells you what percentage it thinks it is AI written. And so my friend was showing me this site, and I'm like, so, you could just like copy and paste something that you had in ChatGPT or Claude, pop it in there. And it's like, this is 99% AI created, right? Whatever. So I'm like, so it has like a big box. You can just type into it. So I'm like, I'm going to type something into the box off the top of my head. And it better not say it was AI generated. And what do you think it did? It said it was like 80-something% AI. Right. I'm like, dude, I typed my very plain, boring, whatever I typed. I know I talked about it here because I was like, if people are going to use these tools and think that this is 100% legit and sure, certainly saying this is AI, it's like, not necessarily. So you could get flagged for AI when you didn't use AI. And that's a big frustration with this. But people are getting these tools and thinking they're 100% usable like that they're not. I don't know. They shouldn't be allowed to put out a tool that you seriously could just type in something off the top of your head and it's trying to tell you it's 80-something% AI written.
Right.
That pissed me off. I was like, no.
I put in a white paper from 1986 in one of those.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It was hilarious. And I thought, you weren't even around yet.
Right.
And I'm talking to the computer. I said,
that is
okay,
so
come back to reality, girlfriend. You got to be there.
That is
what
so
did it end up
funny.
saying? Did it say it was written by AI, Barb?
Some of it, yeah.
Really?
And wow. And so then my commentary was, well, I actually took it said back into ChatGPT. And I think the first thing ChatGPT said to me, because I'd fed it all my personal information, it says, it doesn't know you at all.
That's funny.
Oh, that's funny. I cannot believe how quick this hour goes. I want to show y'all something real quick. Y'all know I talk about whisper flow all the time. And I want to show y'all, I took a screenshot the other day of my whisper flow. For anybody that has not played with whisper flow yet, try it. You can use the free account. And if you fall in love with it like I do, then you're going to want to pay. I pay like $12 a month, but you can do a lot with it for free. And then if you use it a lot, then it'll stop you because you got it it's based on usage. So whisper flow, I use instead of my keyboard constantly typing everything, I just talk. I press on my Mac, I press the FN. If you're on Windows, I forgot which key it is. If you're on your phone, you press this one little button, you talk. And it puts it into wherever your cursor is on your computer, your phone, doesn't matter what tool you're in. I do it for tweets. I do it for ChatGPT. I do it for everything. I barely use my keyboard on my computer anymore or tapping on my phone. So I was looking at my stats because I've been using this for 9.5 months now. I heard about it last year and as we age, we get older, it can get harder to be typing so much. I have really bad wrists. I have really bad arthritis in my wrist, especially my right wrist. That's why I wear this little compression wristband thing. And this has helped tremendously, but everybody's trying this now and they're like, this is the best tool ever. But look at my usage. So when I'm just talking instead of like when I'm doing my tweets, when I'm brainstorming ChatGPT, but I don't want to do the voice audio mode. I just want to, instead of typing, I can just press the button and do that. I do talk a lot with chat, but if I'm not talking instead of typing, I'm just talking into it through WhisperFlow. But my average speed of talking to it is 172 words per minute. So you cannot type nearly that fast. And the number of words dictated since I started 9.5 months ago is 295,000 words. That's what I've dictated into this tool. I use it on my phone constantly. I use it on my computer constantly. And I've used it inside of 77 apps. So it doesn't matter what you're in, what app, what tool. You put your cursor and then you press the button and you start talking. It's an amazing tool. So I just want to point that out. If anybody has not heard about WhisperFlow yet or not familiar, that's like my favorite tool. So from time to time, I post that on my X so everybody can see like the usage stats. It blows me away, but it just helps me be more productive. I really like it a lot. We're not going to have time to dive into the Dan Martell video I watched this morning on Claude. I'm going to play a little bit of it, but for those that got here late, check the replay, because what I talked about at the beginning of the hour is my next big experiment is I'm going to go further in and do a deep dive with Claude. I am going to pay the $20 a month. I'm going to keep my ChatGPT, but after I've watched all the videos, we won't get a whole big discussion because we already had the discussion earlier. I've watched all the videos we've been talking about here for like a month now. The pros and cons of switching from ChatGPT to Claude. I do have Claude inside of Magi, so that's where I primarily use Claude. I have been playing with the free Claude, on the native, the Claude.ai. But after watching Dan Martell's video this morning, talking about all these features in Claude, but also hearing about it all this time now, is like, okay, I'm going to do a big experiment. So let me play a little bit of his video because we don't have time to watch much. It's a 16-minute video. I definitely encourage everybody to watch the whole thing at your convenience, because he is giving, I think personally, the most compelling reasons to really give Claude a go. So let me play a little bit of this so you'll have an idea. I'm going to put a post about it with the link to this over in Skool after this chat, and here on my YouTube. I know we're broadcasting all over, but on my YouTube channel at Madalyn Skylar, I'll have the links to everything we went through in the description later, and I'll have the link to this video along with the link to that Helena tool and all the different things. But let's watch a little bit of this because this was quite compelling.
ChatGPT uninstalls spiked 295% in a single day. Experts say OpenAI could run out of cash by mid-2027. OpenAI just honestly looks desperate. Meanwhile, you got Claude that has been on the rise.
Claude has emerged as one of the most favored AI platforms. That guy Claude is very busy.
Anthropic has updated its AI model, Claude Opus 4.6.
It hit #1 spot on the App Store, dethroning ChatGPT for the first time ever.
My team and I run AI across dozens of companies every single day, and I see what works and what doesn't. And that's why I've switched everybody over to Claude. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what I found when I looked under the hood of both companies, the tools inside Claude that most people don't even know exist. And if you stick around till the very end, I'm going to show you exactly how to make the switch from ChatGPT or any AI to Claude without losing your memory, your context, or your projects. Starting with why I'm betting on Claude in the first place. You got to bet on the right horse. Whatever AI tool I choose is going to be a massive part of my workflows, my team, my companies I'm involved in, how I freaking operate. So I have to pick the right horse when it comes to AI. OpenAI right now, starting to run ads inside its product. If you think it's free, it's not. You know who's paying? You with your data. They're projected to do $14 billion in loss in 26. And a lot of the analysts are projecting that they're going to run out of cash by mid-2027. They've got $1.5 trillion in financial commitments, and they don't have the revenue to back it up. And that's not playing offense. That's making moves out of pressure. Then you have Anthropic, the people who built Claude. Cash burns dropping every year. They're on track to break even years before OpenAI. And their revenues doubled in the last 12 months from 10 to 20 billion. It's crazy because they're a third of the size of OpenAI. So right off the bat, they're more efficient. And the most important part, the people that are at the edge of AI are picking Claude. Plus, Claude's entire ecosystem is leading the pack in the whole AI space. They're literally the innovators. Claude Chat, your best writing and research partner. Crazy. Claude Chrome, it does things in your browser for you when you don't know where the thing is on the website. Claude Cowork, doing the work on your actual computer, refiling, restructuring, searching for stuff. And Claude Code, allowing you to write custom solutions, scripts, whatever you need without knowing how to write code. And that's why I want to go into each one of these so you can see what I mean.
All right, I'm going to stop there because
Wow.
we don't have time. But let me tell you, I already knew about a lot of those features, right? We've been talking about it here. I've been listening to friends and colleagues talk about it for quite a while. Everybody says the Claude Cowork is just absolutely the best thing ever. I didn't know about Claude Chrome, and he goes into that on here. So I've been using the ChatGPT has their own browser, Atlas. It works under Chrome. I mean, I call it Chromium. I know Jim's talked about it here before. So I like the Atlas browser because ChatGPT is in it. So you have at the top right of your browser is a little Ask ChatGPT button. I can press it anytime. It can see my page. So I can be on instead of having to copy and paste or link, I can just say, all right, do you see this on the page here? Let's talk about it or whatever. And it is such a productivity hack that I have needed for a long time. So I love it. And that's just another reason why I like ChatGPT. I did not know that Claude can work in Chrome, and it's a Chrome extension, and it can do the same thing, and it can just be there at all times, and it can see everything as you need it. I'm like, oh, that's a big one for me. I knew about these other features. I didn't know about it being inside of Chrome like that. So I'm going to play around with it. I'll keep everybody posted on my progress and what I think. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. It's like, I don't think I need to be paying $20 for ChatGPT and $20 for Claude,
Right.
but I will for a month or two just to see. And I'll keep y'all posted with my honest thoughts on it. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Because again, I have Magi, and like I can,
Right.
but Magi is not going to have the Chrome capability, the Claude Chrome and the Cowork and all the Claude Code people have been raving about, because we hear a lot about like Lovable, Replit. There are these tools that have been around a while where you don't have to be a coder. You just talk into it. You talk into the AI and tell you what kind of tool, what kind of app you want it to build, and it works with you. To me, this is like really turning this into an all-in-one, where not only are you using Claude for this, that, and the other, but it can also create an app and a tool. It can do all these things. It's like,
Right.
wow, that's very intriguing.
All of that
So-
for $20 a month.
Well, so let me tell y'all, with the Claude Cowork, which is where it can, do a lot, everybody's pretty much saying that if you're really going to go in on Claude Cowork, that you got to pay the $200 a month, because you're going to burn through the credits too much. And what's interesting, I definitely recommend everybody, again, I'll put the link to the YouTube video, that Dan Martell's video, in my YouTube description here. There's 234 comments on his YouTube video, and you know what a lot of people said? That they're doing it, but they're going through those credits so quickly that they can't do it for $20 a month. So this one person says, Claude is good enough except one thing. Even on the Pro plan, which is $20 a month, is still not enough. The token drain like crazy, needs to upgrade to max plan. So a lot of people complain about, and I've already been hearing people complain about that before I saw this video. So that's been one of the reasons why I haven't jumped in, because it's like, okay, if you get this going so good, it becomes this well-oiled machine, but you go through the credits so quickly that it's not going to work unless you do the next plan up. And ChatGPT is the same way. ChatGPT has a $20 and the $200, but ChatGPT gives you lots of use. I have never been stopped inside of ChatGPT where I burned through the credits. I had to like stop and either pay more or let it reset. But people are saying with Claude, I've heard this over and over all over the web. They're saying that, yeah, it's great, but you got to pay more. So, do I need it for the co-work? Do I need it for the code? I mean, ChatGPT can do a lot of this stuff too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I will experiment and see and report back. And if we have more time next week, maybe we'll play more of that video. But I like how he breaks down all these features and deep dives of what it's about and how he's using it in his companies. And that's why his video to me has been the best one, because he explains things so well, but he's also giving real world examples in his business.
Sounds good to me. I still think, the human factor is something that we all need to pay attention to. I mean, really, have you seen a robot prepare you, a really fancy dinner that was edible for a human being? And
Right.
I mean, we used to watch the Jetsons and think, oh my God, we just said that. But we've got to figure that out. And it's like using the tokens. I mean, as a business person and entrepreneur, I'm thinking, well, geez, a living being would cost me so much more than the additional tokens that are down there. So,
Right.
so
It's this give and
that's just
take.
how you think, and so
Exactly.
again, you want to have the people in there.
Exactly. So, I mean, I love all this AI stuff. I love all the technology. There's a lot of pros and cons. I find it interesting though. And I'm just always paying attention, reading and learning as much as I can. So this has always been great. Everybody join us at Skool, because that's where we can continue these discussions. I'm going to put the details of that Dan Martell video in there as well, so it's easily accessible. And we'll be back next Thursday to do it again. So hopefully we'll see you all back. Barb, thank you for being here. I know Rachel had to go.
It's great.
And yeah, we'll see y'all again next Thursday, and have a great rest of your day.